Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's DAF, Bava Basra DAF Yud. We are holding at the third line off the top of the Yom Tanya. Back to the sugya of tzedakah. Here comes a well-known question. Tanya, Hoya Rabbi Meir Omer. Rabbi Meir used to say like this. In truth, yesh loy leba'al hadin. If one chooses to oppose us and give us a hard time, Rashi says, like a Rasha or a Goy. If you want to give us an argument, this is what he could say. Yesh loy leba'al hadin la shivcha. He can challenge you, and ask you the following. Look, Hashem is telling you to give tzedakah. Apparently Hashem has a liking to poor people. He has compassion on them. So if Hashem is oyev aniyim, why doesn't He provide for them directly? Skip the middleman. Just go, why doesn't Hashem give them directly? Mipnei ma hinay mefarnasam. So if you're challenged with this type of question, what do you respond? Says Rabbi Meir, let me give you some advice. This is what you say. Emor loy, tell him, true, of course Hashem could have given him. Hashem could do anything. But Hashem wants us to benefit. Hashem is being mezaka us, giving us the opportunity to get a mitzvah. So it's for our sake. It's for the giver's sake. Now you'll ask a question. So why are there poor people to begin with? Okay, that's not what we're discussing now. The Mepharshim explain. Of course, the Yaakov says, of course, the Hashem has his reasons, and Ani perhaps, did a chet, and he, is in that situation because of his doing, whatever it is, but he's in that situation, and you're the ones that's going to give him his basic needs, rather than Hashem providing for his basic needs. You're giving him his basic needs because Hashem wants you to get a mitzvah. We're going to learn later that tzedakah has the power to spare a person from the din of Gehenna. So that's what it's all about. Hashem gives us the opportunity. So that we are spared through them, through the poor people, from the din of Gehenna. And actually, this was a question that was posed to Rabbi Akiva. Who asked the question? Turnus Rufus or Russia? He asked, it's Rabbi Akiva. Same question. Hashem loves aniyim. Why doesn't He sustain them? He responded as such. It's for our benefit. So the Rasha responded. He didn't let go. He said, Adarabba, if anything, it goes the other way. You're making it worse for yourself by interfering with Hashem's master plan. Hashem wants him to be poor. You're changing that direction. If anything, this makes the givers guilty of Gehenna, liable to Gehenna. Let me give you a parable. You know what this compares to? So you have a human king of flesh and blood. He got upset at his servant. He locked him up in prison. And he instructed those around him, give him a hard time, withhold food and drink from him. And what did a person do? Quietly, night, provided his needs. What happens the next morning? The king sees this fellow is well fed, he just had a 5-course meal. What happened? What's going on? Who defied my directives? Allah, don't you think he'll be upset and mad at this person who interfered with his, right? Continues to surface a Russia to Rekiva. You, Klal Yisrael, at this point in life, this stage in history, you're called Avadim. You're Hashem's servants. Right? As the Pasuk says, Shnamar Kili B'nei Yisrael Avadim. Hashem refers to you as Avadim. And just like in the story, if Hashem decreed that the Eved should be in the state of poverty, and you can't just go and change that. So Rabbi Akiva responds, you have it all wrong. Let me present you with another parable. You know what it's compared to? A king got upset at his son, not his servant, his son who's close to him. In the same story, he locked him in prison. He instructed, no food, no drink. Comes along a nice man and quietly gives him to eat and drink. The next day, the king hears that his son was well taken care of, so now his anger subsided, and he regrets having put his son, in Kishama Melech. How does he respond to this benefactor? With full appreciation. Don't you think he'll send him a gift? Of course. He'll gift him, he'll thank him. The same Baya, says Rabbi Akiva. You have it all wrong, Turnus Rafis. We're Hashem's children. Vanan Kruim Bonim. We're called Hashem's Bonim. If so, Hashem is very pleased when we take care of each other. Amarloi, so now the Rasha responded, I'm confused. What are you? Avadim or Bonim? Atam Kruim Bonim, right? But also Kruim Avadim. So apparently you have to say, depends at what point in history. When you are behaving, listening to Hashem's Ratzon, listening to Hashem's mitzvahs, Atam Kurim Ban, at that time you have the title of status of Banim. But when you deviate from Hashem's path, Atam Kurin Avadim, then Hashem calls you Avadim. And what happens now? Nowadays, you're in exile. Now. You're considered deviators. You're considered servants. And this conforms to the first mashal, my mashal. If you're Avadim, you have no business interfering with Hashem's plans and giving tzedakah. Amar loy, so Akiva responds, actually not, you're wrong. We have a pasuk in Yeshaya. Share your bread with a poor man. What is that referring to? We had this the other day. It's going on the Malchus Raimi, the Edaim, the Goyim, who are always taxing us, right? When are we experiencing this heavy taxation? Nowadays in Golos. Still on that era, says the pasuk, give tzedakah haloi, prois l'rev lachmach. Darash, Rabbi Yehuda Kessler. So he presented the following lesson. Kishem Shem, this is a well-known concept. Kishem Shem is a Neser Shel Adam. Just like we all know that our income is predetermined from the outset of the year, from Rosh Hashanah, from Yom Kippur, right? K'tzuv l'hem Rosh Hashanah. Kach chesrei noisav shel Adam k'tzuv l'hem Rosh Hashanah. Just as our income is set in stone, Hashem predetermined that at the beginning of the year. We make a little shtadlus, a little effort to open up the keli, to be deserving of the bracha, to be makayim the decree way back from Adam Rishon, right? You have to toil, you have to sweat. But ultimately, the exact amount had already been determined. So likewise, says the Gemara, likewise his losses, his expenses, already foretold at the beginning of the year. Now, Zacha, if a person is Zoicha to a Mazel Tov, Rashi says, so those losses are really going to be manifested in a tzedakah form. He'll lose that much money to tzedakah. Halei price, l'rev lachmecha. Lo Zacha, but otherwise, you know where that money's going to go? To the authorities. He's going to lose it in a non-mitzvah fashion. V'aniyim merudim tavi bayis. So bottom line, it pays to give tzedakah because the money has to be spent in any case. May as well get a mitzvah. As we find in the story with the Bnei Achse, the sons of the sister, meaning the nephews of Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai. So what happened with them? Beginning of the year, Rashi says it was actually Matzah Yom Kippur when the Gzar Din of the year is finalized. At that night, Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai saw the following message in his dream. The boy Mechsar, that his nephews are going to lose how much money throughout the next year? Shva Mea Dinri. So armed with this information, he didn't divulge it to them, but he knew about it, and he wanted to get them a good deal so that they will spend the money to tzedakah, right? So he made an effort throughout the year to convince them, right? He solicited money from them. Shakim and tzedakah. He took all this money for tzedakah. But it turns out that as much as he tried, by the time the next year came around, Erev Rosh Hashanah, Rashi says, or some say Erev Yom Kippur, bottom line, at the end of that, fiscal year, spiritual fiscal year, they hadn't yet given, they gave everything except for 17 coins. So it was 683 was spent, 17 balance. And what happened? Guess what? They lost it. Suddenly on Erev Yom Kippur, Shadur the Beit Kessler, so from the Kessler, from the authorities, they sent a troop, Naktinu, and they grabbed that money. Rabbi Yehuda So Rabbi Yehuda, their uncle, told them, don't worry, it's not going to come. This is a one-time thing. They're not coming again. You know why? That's exactly how much you owed, according to your heavenly, account balance. It was those 17 coins that were sitting by you that they took. So they asked him, how do you know it's only going to be 17? So he told them the whole story with the dream. And in fact, it's meant to be a total of 700, and you just got there. They asked him, why'd you tell us till now? Why didn't you tell us earlier that we have to give all this money, and we would have given the 17th tzedakah? He says, I wanted to keep it l'shem shamayim. I figured I'm not going to tell you. So that when you give that money throughout the year for tzedakah, it should be with the right intentions, l'shem shamayim, l'shem mitzvah, rather than just figuring, okay, I'm cutting my losses in any case, so may as well. Rav Papa have a soluk b'darga. Rav Papa once climbing up a ladder, yishtamid kari. Suddenly one of the rungs collapsed. He was about to fall, and he was saved. Amar, so he exclaimed, he says, why was I deserving of falling? I was just saved by a miracle. Amar, if I would have fallen, my enemy, this is just a euphemism, it's a third person euphemism, referring to himself. I would have been guilty, I would have been liable, I would have experienced a death of falling, which is like skila, right, where they throw the person off the roof, and Rashi says, Bizman Hazeh, there is no Sanhedrin, a similar experience can occur to a person who is liable to this type of punishment. And who typically gets this type of punishment? What Avera generates this punishment? The most terrible Averas. Like a person who desecrates Shabbos or worships idols. Why was I deserving of that? Why was I? So Rav told him, true, you're not a Mechal Shabbos, but maybe you had something which resembles these types of things. Maybe a poor person approached you, and you refrained from providing tzedakah. The Sanya, as we learned, Rabbi Shimon a person who ignores a tzedakah opportunity, it's as if he's worshipping idols. Right? The point of tzedakah is, it's a proclamation that Hashem is the source of all existence. Hashem provides and gives us everything that we have. And certainly the extras are meant to be distributed. I'm just a conduit from Hashem. So tzedakah is really an expression of ultimate clarity and belief in Hashem's existence, Hashem's providing for us, Hashem being the source of all our possessions, all our havings and givings, and right? So a person who does not tap into tzedakah, it's reminiscent to a certain extent. There's an element of avodah zarah there. He's lacking in that connection to Hashem. How do we know this? From a pasuk. Over here by tzedakah, it says, be careful, don't engage in Belial. Belial is a joint word. Beli oil, without the yoke of Hashem, without the awareness of Hashem's being the source of all existence. And elsewhere it says by avodah zarah, so it's a similar expression, malahal, just like over there, it's a reference to avodah mafkan. Here as well, ignoring tzedakah opportunities is reminiscent of avodas kachav. Interesting that the pasuk, the first pasuk of Hisham Alacha, Penye Dover Elavavcha B'liyal, is actually going on a person who avoids lending money because he sees Shemitah coming, he's concerned that Shemitah will undo the whole loan, right? So the pasuk says, be careful. Don't engage with that sort of, right? Be generous and lend the money. So the question is, why is that connected to tzedakah? So Chaim Kanievsky in the Sefer Derech Emunah brings, based on the Rambam. The Rambam says the highest form of tzedakah is to lend a person money, because that allows him to preserve his self-esteem and his honor. So lending money is is certainly tzedakah, the highest form of tzedakah. So this pasuk indeed is relating to a tzedakah issue. Tanya Omer Blazer Reis, called tzedakah v'chesed. She is stroil oisim b'laseh. All tzedakah and kindness that we engage in this world, shalom gadol. It generates great peace and harmony between us and Hashem. Upraklitin gdolim, and great advocates for us. Ben Yisrael, between us, Lavin Shashmayim, and our Father in heaven. Shnema Kama Hashem al tavi bismarzich. V'atelach lispoy v'altanad lahem ki asavte shlemi. Hashem says, I remove my shalom as a chesed, as a rachman, because they didn't engage in chesed and rachman. Chesed zugmilas chasadim, and rachman zut Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Kessler. Gedolot tzedakah. You know what great tzedakah is? Shemakareves agula, brings about the geula. It hastens our redemption. Shenema koyama Hashem. I remember as a kid in grade 6, we had this plaque from Torah Masur on the wall. Gedolot tzedakah, shemakareves agula. This phrase. Shenema koyama Hashem, shimru mishpat. Asud tzedakah. Go ahead, engage in tzedakah. Ki kroive yeshuasi lavoi. It's going to bring about the Yeshua of tzedkasi legalis. Hu yaimer. Furthermore, Rabbi Yehuda used to say like this, interesting sort of presentation. Asara dvarim kashim nivrboy. We take a look at the world. There are 10 tough things in succession. Each one can overcome the next one. So it's like sort of a hierarchy. Har kasha. Take a look at a big, formidable mountain. Barzal machatchay. How do you get through that tough mountain? With a boring machine, with iron tools, right? A tunneling machine. Barzal kasha. Let's say you have this tough piece of metal. How do you overcome it? Ur mefafay, good fire softens it up. Ur kasha, you have a fire. Mayim mechabanosi, how do you get rid of a fire? Water. Mayim kashim avim sovim oisin, you have lots of water. The clouds absorb it. Avim kashim, you have lots of clouds. What disperses the clouds? What overrides the clouds? Ruach mefazrasin, a good wind disperses them. Ruach kasha, lots of wind. Guv sovil, you know what's stronger than wind? A person's body. It absorbs the spirit, the ruach. In fact, we say by the Asher Yatzar, right? Mafti lasis, and first explain, mafti lasis means that there's ruach, right? A person's like a noid mala ruach, like a container with air, and it's all contained in the person. Guv kasha. Let's say you got a tough person. How do you address that? Pachat shayvari. Fear can break a person. Pachat kasha. You have a difficult fear situation. Yain mefiga. Wine alleviates that concern. Yain kasha. Too much wine. Shenim v'chasai. Sleep can alleviate that. Umisa kasha mikulam. Over everything comes misa. It's stronger than shena and everything else. Utstaka matzelas min misa. And what overrides misa? What can address misa? Tzedakah. A person gives tzedakah, he can be spared from misa. Sh'chsiv utzdaka tatzel mimavetz. It spares from death. Dorash, Rabbi Dustoy, Rabbi Yanai. Boyrei, come take a look. Shaloi, Midas HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Midas Basra Adam. Hashem is so different than a person. Midas Basra Adam. What happens down here in this world? Adam, maybe during Gadol Melech, person brings a big gift, expensive, offering to the king. No, is he going to get in? Is it going to be received nicely? Safek Mekablan Oisa. We're not sure whether they're even going to accept his gift. Safek Ein Mekablan Oisa Hemenu. Safek Ein Mekablan Oisa Hemenu. Maybe they won't accept it. Even if they choose to accept it, who says he's going to get a personal audience with the king, right? Safek Roya Pnei Melech, he might see the king. Safek Ein Roya Pnei Melech, he might not see the king. V'Kadosh Baruch Hu Hashem, it's totally different. The door is always open. Ein Noi Kain, it's very different. Adam Noisem Prutul Ani, a person just gives a coin to the Ani, it opens up all doors, connects us to Hashem. Zayche, through the tzedakah, he merits to an audience with Hashem. Through giving tzedakah echsa panecha al bizecha, to your expression, to your revelation. Ezba b'hakitz p'nasecha. In fact, Rabbi Lezer, he had that minhag. Yoiv pruta l'ani. First he would give a pruta to an ani to open the doors of tefillah v'hodamasa, then he would go daven. Based on this pasuk, Amar l'chsiv ani b'tzedek echsa panecha. Right? By doing tzedakah, echsa panecha, I'll connect to you. In fact, that's our minhag, right? We give tzedakah. It says Shibal Alek. It says you give it tzedakah by Yivarach David, and specifically by the words Ba'ata Moshe B'Koel, because giving tzedakah is an expression of Hashem being the source of all existence, Hashem being the sole provider. And again, as we have extra, it's meant to be distributed. We're just like a conduit. It's all from Hashem to be applied properly, and that opens up the doors for tefillah, our tefillah, to be effective. So we focus on the first part of that pasuk, Ani b'tzedek echsa panecha. But what about the second part? What does it mean? As b'hakitz, when I awake, I will be satiated by your tmuna secha, by your tmuna, by the vision of Hashem Shechina. What does that mean? Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. It's a totally different thing. Elu Talmidei Chacham. It's going on the ones that are immersed in Torah. Shemenadidin sheina meinei b'mazeh. In this world, they toil and they keep themselves awake. That's b'haketz, right? They force themselves awake. V'akadosh Baruch Hu mazbian meziv hashchina. What's their reward? Hashem will satiate them with the Shechina le'olam haba, as ba, right? With the tmuna of Hashem. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Ma'idach sib ma'alva Hashem choinen dal. A person who's choinen dal, who grants poor people, he's generous with aniyim. He's like a malva to Hashem, like Hashem is borrowing from him, so to speak. If not for this pasuk being said this way, we couldn't say it on our own. It's like, how do you say such a thing? It's as though when you give tzedakah to a poor man, you're lending Hashem money, because he's sort of like providing instead of Hashem, so to speak, right? We know that a person who borrows, he's like an eved. He's committed. He's bound to his malvas. Hashem sort of presents himself like a borrower of us, and will repay us for our kindness. Rabbi Yehuda had a following discussion. One pasuk says, wealth is not very effective in difficult times, but tzedakah can spare from death. We have another pasuk in Mishlei, a similar pasuk. Russia, the wealth of a Russia doesn't help much, but tzedakah. So why the double reference to the same idea? Tzedakah is halol. Why this repetition? One is shametzilasei mimisam. One is to tell you that it spares a person from difficult deaths. The other one is telling you that it spares you from Gehenna in the other world. Which pasuk is it referring to the Asalave, to Gehenna? The pasuk which says Evra, which has the word Evra, which is a reference to Gehenna. Which pasuk is referring to sparing a person from unusual deaths? Sorry, which form, right? Which form of tzedakah has the power to do that? Noisna ve'eino yodeh means noisna. A fully, completely discrete form of giving tzedakah. So Reuben gives the money, but he has no idea who his recipient is, which allows Reuben to feel less credit and less, right? Noitla ve'eino yodeh means noitla. Likewise, the recipient receives the money, he has no clue who his benefactor is. That's the ultimate form of tzedakah, totally discrete on both sides. And they do that. More later we'll say, you give it to put into a tzedakah fund. So the recipient has no idea who's giving it, and the benefactor has no idea who his recipient is. Says the Gemara, noisna ve'eino yodeh mi noisna. So the first aspect is give it without knowing the identity of the recipient, lafuke, as opposed to the case of midmar ukva. So Rashi says he used to actually give tzedakah. Every week he used to drop off money by his neighbor's door and run away. So the fellow had no idea who was giving him, but he did know who his recipient is. So you're meant to be better than that, so to speak. I mean, it's great to do that, but we're speaking about trying to avoid that as well. Totally anonymous. And the second point of noitla, that the recipient takes it without knowing who his benefactor is, lafuk, as opposed to with Rabbi. What did Rabbi do? He used to drop money on the street and would keep on going. And the fellow behind him, the ani, would pick up the tzedakah, knowing who his donor is, but he didn't know. Rabbi didn't know who took it. So rather than doing it these ways, do it in a totally anonymous way. How should you do it? What's the ultimate tzedakah? Put into a tzedakah fund. Asks the Gemara, really? Is that advisable? Maybe I have a kasha from a brayso which discourages us from doing that. A person wants to be zecher to boys. What do? He should disperse his money to the aniyim. Rabbi Shua maybe yisamach ishto dar mitzvah. He should be mesamech. He should bring his wife joy in preparation for the coming together, dar mitzvah. Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Omer lo yitin adam pruta la'arnik shel tzedakah elam kain memuna aleh. A person should be careful. Don't put your money into a tzedakah fund unless you know that the manager of that fund is very, very honest, very trustworthy, a man of integrity, like him, he's like the gold standard of integrity when it comes to tzedakah. Taisus brings a story that he wasn't sure whose money it was. He gave away his own money. So that's the type of person you want running your fund. Otherwise, keep away. So why are we advocating, why are we advising depositing money in a tzedakah fund? Says the Gemara, you're right. And we speak about the same story. The money Allah. We're only advising that you use a tzedakah fund run by very trustworthy individuals. Amar Bavo, Amar Moshe, Moshe turned to Hashem. And this is actually referring to that pasuk at the beginning of Parshas Kisisa. Kisisa es Rosh Bnei Yisrael, right? Hashem says, when you'll lift the heads, you'll boost the status of Klal Yisrael. How do you do that? By them giving a machzas hashekel. So there was a back and forth. Moshe asked Hashem, Rebbeinu Shalom, b'mat Torah kam Yisrael? How is Klal Yisrael's stature going to rise? Amaloi. So Hashem tells him, b'chisisa, right? How do you do it? By giving tzedakah. V'amar Ravo, Shalu Shlomo ben David. The following question was presented to Shlomo HaMelech, the son of David. Ad heichan koicha tzedakah. How powerful is tzedakah? Amalani told him like this. Zuru, go take a look. Ma Pirush David. Look at my father David. How he expresses himself in Tehillim. Perek, Kapitel Kuf Yud Beis. Pizar nosan le'avyonim. A person disperses his money to avyonim. Tzedkasoi oimedes la'ad karnoi torah b'chavod. The tzedakah lasts forever, and his stature rises b'chavod forever. Rabbi Ava Amar Mehacha, we have a different pasuk. Hu Merayim Mishkoin Mitzadois Slaim Miskaboy. Right, so he rises to the highest heights, and he's protected by boulders. Lachmoy Niton Meimav Lemanim, because his bread and water was dispersed to the Anim. Ma'atam Merayim Mishkoin Mitzadois Slaim Miskaboy. Why is he protected? Mishum de Lachmoy Nosan Meimav Lemanim, because of its tzedakah. Once again, Shlomo Melech was asked, who is considered a Ben Elam Haba, a person who's going to have a very chasha place in Gan Eden? Amar Lahem, so he told them, Kol Shezakein of Kavod. Kol Shekineged Zakein of Kavod. What does that mean? Says Rashi. A person who's accorded honor and respect in this world, not because of his wealth, rather because of his zikna, which means because of his chachma, his wisdom, that type of person is guaranteed a good seed, like we find in the story, the Yosef, involving Rav Yosef. Braid, the Rabbi Yeshua, the son of Rabbi Yeshua, Chalash, once he got very weakened, ingid, and his neshama left him for a short time. He had sort of an out-of-body experience. And when he was revived and he came back, Amrli Avo, his father turned to him and asked him, you just made a visit upstairs, my chazas, what do you see up there? Amrli, he says, I see everything turned upside down. The ones that are high up in this world are very low there. Right? The most respected people in the community here, well, upstairs they're not really reckoned with. And the poor, measly fellows down here, they're considered very special upstairs. Everything's confusing and mixed up. Amalei, he says, actually, Oilam Baruch Isa was not confusing at all. You have experienced true clarity. Over there, it's measured by actual worth and value, not by relative worth and value. Right? Person is truly deserving, he gets the front seat. It doesn't go by, public opinion. So Bishua asked him, what about us? Where are we seated? How do they treat us there? Amalei, he says, exactly as we are regarded down here. Right? Just like we're respected for our spiritual standing here, same thing upstairs. Just like we're regarded with great respect down here, chashvin and hasam there as well. And the son continued and said, I overheard him saying, fortunate is the person who comes over here to Ilm Haba with his learning clear in his hands. And also I heard She'ayman, they were saying, Harugi Malchus, those that were killed by the authorities, Al Kiddush Hashem, Ein Kol Bria Yechoyla Lamad B'chitzas, and they stand so high, nobody can get near them in Gan Eden. Manin, who are these people? Ilim Rabbi Akiva B'chaberv, is it Rabbi Akiva, the Asura Harugi Malchus, the Tanoim that were killed by the Romans? It can't be, you know why? Mishum Harugi Malchus V'suloi. It would seem that their only reason for standing up high there is because they were killed by the authorities. That seems to be their only ticket to that, you know. But really, it's not so. I mean, Rabbi Akiva, these were Tanoim. They have many more reasons for that tremendous schar. So it can't be that it was referring to them. Pshita b'lav hachinam, even without the fact that they were killed by the authorities, they're also deserving of that high level. Ella, rather, it was going on people who were otherwise simple people, Haruge Lud. They were killed by the authorities in Lud. Rashi brings a story that actually was speaking about two brothers. One was Lulainus, the other one was Papus. And to Nasrafas, Russia killed them in Ludkia. Why? Because they discovered this non-Jewish princess that was killed, and they suspected the Jews. They wanted to kill them all out. And these two brothers stepped forward, and they volunteered, presented themselves as the perpetrators, and they undertook Misa, and they sacrificed their lives on account of the community. So their mitzvah, their Mesiras Nefesh, catapulted them to the highest forms of Gan Eden. Tanya, we have a Brais Amalan, Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai turned to his Talmidav. Banai, my children. Ma'osh Amar Kasav. I have an interesting pasuk in Mishlei, and I want to try to get to the bottom of it. Tzedakah teroimim goy. Tzedakah elevates the nation. V'chesed lo chatas, and the kindness of the nations is chatas, is something like a chet, like a sin. So, which way? Is tzedakah positive or negative? So, here's the question. Let me hear what you have to say. So we know Rabbi Yehuda Kessler had many Talmidim, and now he went and he heard one by one. Nena Rabbi Lezer. So firstly it was Rabbi Lezer, but Amar, he said like this. Who's the Goy? El Yisrael. It's going on Klal Yisrael, the nation, the Chsiv, Umikam Yisrael, Goy Echad Ba'aretz. So our tzedakah elevates us, brings us to the highest levels. But v'chesed le'umim chatos. The chesed done by the Goyim, that's detrimental. Called tzedakah v'chesed she'umas ha'oided g'chav oisin, chetu lehem. Even if they do acts of kindness, you know, basically, the point of this whole sugya is going to be, you can have two people giving, but they're worlds apart. One is giving in order to benefit the recipient. He has the other person in mind. That's a true chesed. That's why it's called chesed shel emes, right? Because the chesed that we do min ha'mesim, as Rashi says in Vayechi, you're not expecting anything in return. So that's giving simply for the sake of giving. You have the recipient's interest in mind. That's it. That's like Hashem's chesed. Hashem doesn't get anything in return. That's why it's called chesed shel emes, by the way. Because it's a true emulation of Hashem's chesed, who just provides without expecting anything in return. So he has us in mind. The love to the recipient is so strong, you're willing to give away from yourself and provide for him. So that's the chesed of a yid. He has embedded within him, we're all embedded with that natural DNA from our avos. We're goyim lechasadim, but chasadim are the highest form, recipient in mind. It's for him. On the other hand, the goyim, as generous and giving they may appear, which is true, especially nowadays. Rabbi Moshe Feinstein used to say that America is the Medina Shel Malchus. It's a whole new phenomenon, right? The whole welfare system, just the idea of giving. Giving is in, right? Donating, providing, giving charity, it's very much in, right? But there's a nuance of a difference here. Ultimately, it's for yourself. You're giving to achieve honor, prestige, right? Acceptance amongst your friends and colleagues, right? So yeah, it's giving. It appears like the same type of act, but ultimately it's for the sake of getting something in return. So it's not really, technically not really giving, it's really taking. It looks like giving, but it's really taking. So that's going to be the point of the next sugya. So when Klal Yisrael gives, it's a ruchnis, it's a spiritual grant. It's really tzedakah. But v'chesed l'umim chatas, there it's deficient. Called tzedakah v'chesed, she'umas oid g'chav ma'osin chetu lehem. It's like a chet. She'ena, they're sort of using an act of chesed as a means of receiving. So it's sort of a perversion of the whole concept of chesed. She'enam oisin el izgadal boy. They're only doing it to gain and to profit. So the goyim would provide korbanos, but the ultimate purpose was they would daven for the success, their own success, their lives and their kids' lives. So it was for the sake of getting. Says the Gemara, what's wrong with that? Even if a person expects to get some sort of benefit from tzedakah, it's not a full, complete tzedakah. Latani, we have a brisa, it's fully fine. Right? A person, a yid, gets up and says, this money is for tzedakah, bishvil. I want that the merit of tzedakah, my children shall live, I should be zechtem haba, that's fine, it's perfectly fine. Hurry, this is how they come, it's a full and complete mitzvah. So why are we frowning on this attitude that the goyim do? Like Kasha, the answer is like this. Depends who's doing it. With what attitude are you doing it? Can't be Yisrael. When a Yid does it, Rashi says, Yisrael datan l'shamayim. Ultimately, your kavanah is l'shem shamayim, whether or not your expectations are met. You're not going to question Hashem chas v'shalom. You're giving tzedakah to give tzedakah. Okay, you're asking for something, on the side, but it's not really dependent. It's not contingent on that. Ultimately, you're giving for the sake of tzedakah. It's not so. You're giving it al manas, and if it doesn't happen, Rashi says, mischaret, he regrets the whole thing, because that was the purpose. Then Rabbi Shua got up and said like this. So that's very similar to before. Why? Whatever they do is chetu lahen, it's a chet. She'ein oisen el kadeshim t'mashal malchus, and only doing it to achieve success for the malchus. Shenamar lahen malka yishbar layich v'chetayich v'tzedakah proik v'avisich v'mechan anyan. Right, this is Daniel advising Nebuchadnezzar to get tzedakah. Hein tavi arkal shal busech. It's going to prolong your tranquility and bring you success. So that's ultimately the purpose. Okay, next. Nena Rabbi Gamliel spoke up. Amar, he said like this: the words tzedakah t'roimim goy again is going on us. El Yisrael d'chsiv mikam Yisrael lechabaretz. Uvechesed lo mimchatos. What is that? Called tzedakah v'chesed. Sha'akum oisim. Whatever the goyim do in terms of kindness, chetu lehen, it's considered a sin. She'ein oisin el disyar, by only doing it to achieve prestige. V'chala misyar. A person who's prideful ends up in Gehenna. Shnamar Zayd Yahir, that's pride, a person with pride. Leit Shmoy Oisev Ebras Zadoin, experiences Efras. What is that? Gehenna. Vein Ebra El Gehenna. Shnamar Yom Ebra Mahu. Amar Ram Gamliel. Adayin, even after all these interpretations, we have one more to go. Onotzrichan L'Moidoi, we really need Moidoi's interpretation. Who's that? Rabbi Lezer HaMoidoi, who came from Moidian. That's why he's called HaMoidoi. That's going on the nation of Yisrael, El Yisrael, in contrast to the Goyish Chesed, called Tzedakah v'Chesed, She'akum Oisim, whatever they do, Chetu Lehen, it's called a Chet. She'ein Oisin l'Charaf Oisan a boy. He takes it a step further. They engage in acts of kindness to present themselves to us as righteous people. We're righteous people, you people are just, right? So doing it to trample us. Shenamar vayovai vayas Hashem kashodiber. This was the right. It was a Radran giving Yirmiyah Musar. Look, I'm so great. Look what I did. All this and that. But you people. Vayovai vayas Hashem kashodiber ki chatosim Hashem l'shmatam mikoyloi v'olechem adavar zeh. You deserve what you're getting because you're bad. So he considered himself to be a tzaddik, right? Because of the good things that he did. And Tosfos says. He helped Yirmiyahu, he took him out of his chains, whatever, so he prided himself and put us down. So that's the ultimate purpose of them doing chesed, to feel good and put us down. Then Rabbi Yehuda Kessler Amar, he spoke up and he said like this: he had a different interpretation. He learned that tzedakah t'roimim goy goes along with the next word v'chesed, and it's all going back Yisrael on us. We do tzedakah, we do chesed. And the Goyim, they just engage in chatas and sin. So he doesn't give them credit at all. So after all these Talmidim, the Rebbe spoke up and he said, Nirin divrei Rabbi Nechuni ben Akana midvarai umidivrechem. I actually like Rabbi Nechuni's pshat, the most recent pshat, better than my pshat and your pshat, and your interpretations. Why? Because he attributes all these good things to Yisrael, ul'akam to the Goyim, just the chatos. Now the fact that Rabbi Yehuda Zakkai made reference to his own interpretation, which we don't really find yet in the Gemara, apparently he also had an explanation. What was the Rebbe's explanation? The son, yes, we learned, Rabbi Yehuda Zakkai, he had a different interpretation. What's the equation? between the tzedakah of Yisrael and the goyim with the chatas. Kashem she'achatas mechaperes al Yisrael, just as a korban chatas atones for Klal Yisrael when they bring the chatas. Kach tzedakah mechaperes al masa'ila. So by the goyim as well, even if they're not thinking the highest, intentions, right? But the fact that they're giving tzedakah and it's mechaper, it atones, it protects them, it has a similar effect on them as well. Says the Gemara, talking about goyim donating to tzedakah, we have a story of Ifra Hurmuz, that was her name. She was the mother of Imei Deshvar Malka. And one day she sends a gift. Shadra Arba Mea Dinri Kamei de Rabbi Ami. She sent 400 coins to Rabbi Ami for tzedakah. He didn't want to accept it. Shadrin Kamei de Rabbi. Shadrin Sinu Kamei de Rabbi. So she diverted it to Rava. And he did accept the tzedakah, and was going to give it to the aniyim. Because he wanted to keep the shalom, maintain the peace with the authorities, lest they feel rejected, right? Shamar Ami Ikpit. So now Rabbi Ami heard that Rav accepted the donation. He wasn't happy. Amar, he says, lastly, does Rav not hold of the pasuk biyavish k'tzira tishabarna noshim boys mirois oisa? Rashi explains 2 lines from the bottom. Biyavish k'tzira tishabarna means like this: kishatichle zuchus shabiyodam, when the merits of the goyim will be sort of expended and used up. V'yavish lachluches matzah tzedakah shelen, and the positive effects of their acts of kindness will cease to exist. They'll use up their merits. Other yishuv, that will be their downfall, right? So I don't want to enable them their tzedakah, because that's going to prolong their existence and their power. So Rabbi Ami was upset that Rava accepted this tzedakah. Rava, what's Rava's position? Mishum Shalom Malchus. We had no choice. Shalom Malchus. Rabbi Ami Nam Mishum Shalom Malchus. Okay, so Rabbi Ami should agree to that as well. The answer is the fine. You have to accept the money. You can't reject it, but distribute it to goyim. Goyim should aniyim, not to yidden. This way they don't have the mitzvah. So, you're right. That's what Rabbi did. He gave it to goyim aniyim. Rabbi Ami the ikpet. Why is Rabbi Ami upset? That's what he did. Rabbi Ami the ikpet who? The answer is lo simul kamei, because when they related to him that Rabbi accepted the money, they didn't bother telling him. They didn't tell him the details that he took it and he distributed to the goy. Okay, so in summary, we have the famous kasha: why doesn't Hashem provide for their name directly? The answer is to give us the schus, to protect us from Gehenna. As we learn later, tzedakah has the power to be matzal mamavis, protect from Gehenna, protect from Misa Mishuna. The highest form of tzedakah is totally anonymous and discreet on both sides. A person's income is bashert, his expenses are bashert, may as well spend it on tzedakah. Tzedakah can bring the knes and the geula. The power of tzedakah is to bring about bracha and hatzlacha. And he highlighted the distinction between the chesed and tzedakah of the goyim and the true act of spiritual kindness, which entail the tzedakah v'chesed that are done by Klal Yisrael, a nation of goyim and chasadim. All the best to you, hatzlacha.